Okay, so in this video, I just want to go over some of the Gish commandments. You should probably read over this at some point, or at least kind of skim it. You can find it when you log in, go to the Hunt tab, then down here in the corner is Commandments. A lot of these I'm just going to kind of gloss over and skip past, but there are some that are very relevant to how you are allowed to complete items, etc., etc. So I think it's important to go over those. So registration, not important, already done that. Rights, basically by posting your items to the gish.com website, you're giving them permission to do what they will with them. Updates, there will be frequent updates, and I will do my best to keep up with those and let everybody know about them and keep the spreadsheet updated. Behavior, don't be a jerk. Breaking the law, don't do it. Scavenging, safety, safety first. Shame, don't have any. Normalcy, death to normalcy is a popular Gish West phrase. Okay, so item interpretation. Here's the first one. Do not reinterpret items. Provide the item exactly as it is requested. If the item reads, a photo of you standing with the Queen of England, we don't want you in front of a picture of the Queen or you in front of an action figure of the Queen. It must be a photo of you with the royal mum in the living flesh. If you choose to interpret, you have a 97.67% chance of getting 0 points. Okay, that being said, item interpretation number two states yes, sometimes those well done, creatively interpreted items make it into the Gish coffee table book. So, um, here's what I have to say about that. For the majority of items, stick to the spirit of what they're asking. Do not reinterpret. But particularly if it's an item that we're not going to be able to complete anyway, that would be getting 0 points for anyway. If you have a clever idea, run with it because you might end up in the coffee table book. Might not get points for it, but we are just for fun team anyway. So the coffee table book to me is kind of more important. Again, try to stick to the item as it's requested for the majority of your items. But if you stray from that here and there, that is okay if you need the creative license to do so. I mean, in this instance, the photo of you standing with the queen, I doubt any of us could complete that. It would be 0 point value for us anyway, unless some of you have some connections I don't know about, in which case, awesome. But if you have something funny that you could submit for that item, you might as well rather than just 0 points and no chance a coffee table book, if that makes sense. And if you have questions about whether or not you are reinterpreting an item, you can always ask in the group and we can discuss it. Submission secret tip number one, quality counts. So this is basically make sure that your pictures are in focus, make sure your videos are in focus, make sure that the audio on your videos is audible. Make your submissions beautiful, artistic, and excellent. So, quality over quantity. Um, Particularly, I mean, it says that it awards more points, which is not necessarily, again, that important to us because we're not going to be really playing hard enough to be in the running for winning. So, to me, coffee table book is my goal. And coffee table book requires that you have a photo with good resolution, good colors, good framing. Pay attention to where you're taking your video, where you're taking the photo, what's the background, what's the lighting. If you are doing a video, make sure that you're not standing in front of like your trash can or, the junk corner of your yard. Doesn't everybody have one of those? Um, just kind of be mindful of the aesthetics of what you're doing because in the end it's more enjoyable for everybody to look at something that's well done and pretty, and it's more likely to earn you a spot in the coffee table book. So submission tip two, use twice the pudding. I don't know, there's probably going to be an item with pudding, so brace yourself for that. Submission tip, secret tip three, have fun, obviously. Secret tip four, composition counts. Again, we already kind of covered that. Shoot in landscape orientation whenever possible. Just say no to vertical video. Submission four, make the judges laugh. Gishwes is all about funny and some heartwarming. Heartwarming and funny. If you can combine the two, even better. So, Shatner clause, that's not really important unless there is a celebrity on your team or a celebrity team wins. Formal eligibility, blah blah blah. Confusion. Okay, that's kind of an important one. So there are going to be some very confusing items. They will not answer questions. They will not clarify items. They will not give you advice on items. If you can't figure out an item, that's on you. Last year we had a riddle that a lot of people ended up solving it to have something to do with a cabbage and Nicolas Cage. But then I guess it actually turned out to be something about people dressed as pizza, maybe. Um, I don't really know. I don't know if anybody really knows. I'm still really confused about it. But that is the nature of the hunt. Not everything is going to be clear, so try to take it all in a stride and just be good natured about it. Submission process, that's really something that will make more sense once the list is uploaded. You will see where you will be able to click in order to upload photos or to add the YouTube links. Submission format, again, photos will be submitted on the website, videos will be uploaded to YouTube, and then the links will be shared on the website. But here's something that's important. Make sure that your YouTube videos are unlisted. Do not set them private. If they are private, the judges will not be able to see it. And you are not allowed to list them as public because, and it'll be covered later on this list, you are not allowed to share any items during the hunt for the duration of the hunt. So the video cannot be public. It should not be private. Make sure it's unlisted. I will keep an eye on the YouTube account to make sure that everything is getting uploaded correctly. And if you have questions, always ask. So unless otherwise stated, all video entries are no longer than 14 seconds. That can be really hard sometimes, and you have to do some really brutal editing, but it is important. So no longer than 14 seconds for your videos, unless it says otherwise. It also advises that you put 2018 Gish and the item number in the description or title, so that's a good idea. Altering photos and videos. So this kind of goes with reinterpreting items somewhat. It's also, I mean, I guess this one is really about don't cheat. They don't want you to photo manipulate anything. They don't want you to try to sneak something. I mean, unless it says to manipulate something. I mean, there will be some that says Photoshop this or that, but if it does not say Photoshop, you should probably not be doing anything with Photoshop. The appropriate things for photos and videos is maybe to adjust the exposure, the colors, stuff like that. But even filters are pretty iffy. Although I say that, and last year was the first year my team got a submission in the coffee table book, and the photo that we got in the book happened to be very heavily filtered and framed. So we have no way of knowing if we got points for that, but it doesn't really matter because we made the coffee table book, which is way cooler anyway. So just keep that in mind. Try not to do much altering to your photos and videos. If you have a question about whether or not a filter adds enough to the photo to make it worthwhile, just ask in the Facebook area. I mean, in this instance, the photo that we did, I mean, it took it to the next level by doing the filter and the frame on it. So it was totally worth it. So pillows are coming. I don't know. That's more Gishwa stuff. Scoring, don't care, complaining, blah blah blah. Understanding items. We already kind of went through that. Okay, outsourcing. Here's another important one. How long am I going? Oh God, 9 minutes and 21. Okay, so outsourcing. I'm gonna kind of. Oh, I'm almost done. So outsourcing. Um, the majority of the majority of your items must be sourced, created, and performed by your team, meaning at least one team member must be in the majority of images and videos. So this means basically that you can't ask friends and family to complete items for you and then just have them send you pictures or videos. There are instances where you can do things like that. I mean, that's why it says the majority. For location items, if there are meetups or an unusual location, you are allowed to send proxies for that. Um, you can also, like I did a construction paper dress where I created the dress and like arranged the photo shoot and everything, but I stuck a friend who was not on the team in the actual dress because it fit her better. So, so yeah, just make sure that you are completing your items and not other people. Like you can have help, and it's absolutely encouraged that you reach out and ask for props and ask for people to help and etc. etc. But just make sure that you're involved in the process as much as possible. If you have any questions about that, you can ask in the Facebook group, and we can kind of discuss it. So. Okay, video image plagiarism, don't do it. Dietary restrictions, that's just more silly Gish West stuff. Content sharing, again, do not share any of your images or videos until the hunt is over. In fact, it says 8 minutes and 37 seconds after the hunt is officially over is when you can share your items. Violators will be subject to virtual incarceration. Sounds scary. So, that is a tough one because you're doing lots of fun stuff and you want to share it, but yeah, don't do it. The rest of this, blah blah blah. All right, I think that is pretty much the most important points. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Facebook page in the comments. And other than that, let's all just have lots of fun. And this video is already longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to shut up and happy gishing.